To survive in the wild, it helps to be huge, strong, and warm-blooded. Bears check all those boxes. They are the apex mammals of the North American wilderness, roaming their territories with immense physical power and zero natural predators to fear. This map shows exactly how they divide the continent. The black bear claims vast stretches of forest from coast to coast. The grizzly holds down the rugged mountains of the west, and the polar bear rules the icy coastlines of the far north. But no matter where they live on this map, every single bear faces the exact same inescapable threat. That threat is winter. All bears have massive bodies that require enormous amounts of fuel to stay alive. When the temperature drops, that food supply completely vanishes under a blanket of ice and snow. So how does a giant animal stay alive for up to 7 months in freezing conditions with absolutely nothing to eat? The answer dictates everything they do. A bear's entire waking life is a relentless race against the clock to transform its own body into a self-sustaining biological fortress before the first snow falls. The race begins the moment the spring snow melts. Bears wake up hungry, and they have to spend almost every waking hour consuming massive amounts of calories. To find food, they rely on specialized biological hardware. This diagram shows their snout pulling information from the air. They process meals using 42 specialized teeth, flat molars for plants, sharp canines for meat. Finally, their claws remain extended, perfectly positioned for digging. How they use those tools depends entirely on where they live. Grizzlies pack a massive hump of shoulder muscle that lets them dig deep for roots or take down large prey like deer and elk. Black bears apply those exact same claws to scramble vertically up tall trees, searching for wild fruit and hidden honey reserves. Up in the Arctic, polar bears take their hunt to the water. They're incredibly strong swimmers, capable of staying submerged for up to 2 minutes to ambush seals right at their breathing holes. Whether pulling fish from a river, turning over rocks for insects, or hunting on the ice, the goal is identical. Every calorie they consume is a crucial deposit into their winter survival fund. As temperatures drop, those deposits pay off. The bear builds armor, a thick layer of body fat to lock in heat. They pair this with a specialized double coat. Soft underfur insulates, while coarse outer guard hairs shield them from the elements. With their armor complete, they prepare to shelter. Black bears and grizzlies dig deep into hillsides or hollow out spaces under tree roots, while female polar bears scoop out tightly packed pits directly in the snow. Then they shut down. Inside the den, their heart rate slows to a crawl and their body temperature drops. For up to 7 months, they survive entirely off their stored fat, neither eating nor passing waste. Scientists call this a winter sleep, but bears are not true deep sleep hibernators. If an unseasonably warm day hits or melting snow floods their den, they can easily wake up and relocate. And in the middle of this freezing, pitch-black state of suspended animation, female bears accomplish something incredible. They give birth. The new cubs arrive entirely helpless. They are blind, have startlingly blue eyes, and are barely the size of newborn kittens. Their mother's radiant body heat and rich milk are the only things keeping them alive. Within this frozen silence, a bear performs a biological magic trick. It sustains its own massive frame while simultaneously fueling the growth of new life in the deadliest conditions on Earth. By the time the weather warms and the mother finally emerges from the den, those tiny, helpless newborns have transformed. They step into the light roughly the size of puppies, fully energized and covered in thick fur. For the cubs, spring is a time to test their growing bodies. They wrestle, chase each other, and slide down melting snowbanks. But that play has a purpose. They are constantly watching their mother, mimicking her every move to learn the exact foraging and hunting skills they will need to survive on their own. This hands-on education is an investment. Black bear cubs will stay with their mother for up to 18 months, and young grizzlies and polar bears often stay even longer to master their harsh environments. While they learn, they are under her absolute protection. A mother bear will fiercely guard her cubs against any perceived threat, sending a clear warning to the rest of the forest to keep its distance. A bear's dominance comes down to a perfect alignment of specialized anatomy and calculated behavior. Their existence, from how they engineer their dens to how they educate their young,
is a deliberate triumph over the extreme cycles of the wilderness.